Okay. All right. Here it is. First Wednesday in August, August 7th. And it is time for our Angels Heart Healing Circle. Welcome one and all, those who are here now. Welcome Chris and everybody else that will join us either during this Zoom session or see the recording later on YouTube. Whoop, Mary Seymour just showed up. Yay, Mary. Just in time. We just started the recording. And that's, Chris Dorham's here with us too.
Hi.
Okay. So today's session of the Heart Light Healing Angelic Healing Circle, the Angels Heart Healing Circle, is going to be about boundaries. And this isn't your typical talk about setting boundaries with other people and things. This is about the necessity for boundaries, the fact that this Lion's Gate, which is Crescendo's tomorrow, is all about setting boundaries, saying no to stuff. You know, shutting off the stuff that you know is not aligned with your soul and your soul path. Detaching from it. Now, is it easy? Heck no. I've been working with this for a couple of weeks now since I figured out something that was going on with me, and I said, oh, crap. And our angels are setting up ways for us to know when we are in the wrong place, when we are attaching again to the stuff that is not going to serve our ascensions, that's weighing us down. And this comes in a lot of different forms. And the boundaries that we're talking about today are all about the boundaries that we need. All right, we have nature has, there are natural boundaries all along nature. All you have to do is look around you. There are boundaries in the natural world, in the physical, in physics and mathematics and science. There are boundaries in biology, boundaries everywhere. We need boundaries. We came here, we didn't come here to be hive creatures in one amorphous blob. That's not what we came here to be. We came here to be individual sparks of the divine God, creators in our own right, to play in this creative field, but to be separate instead of all one. If we wanted to be all one, then we go back to the creator. It's as simple as that. We came here to be separate expressions of the one God. And that requires us to set boundaries. We have skin, that's a boundary. Skin is a big boundary. That says, well, I'm not just going to leak in a big puddle all over, and I'm not going to blend into you, and your puddle's not going to blend into me. We have skin. That's our boundary, That's one of our first boundaries. We have our energy fields that are boundaries. And, when I talk about boundaries in the physical world, let me go ahead and share this as an example. If you look at a candle, right, in the dark, there is no place that light is that dark can be also. There are boundaries there. They can't occupy the same space at the same time. There's light and there's no light. There's boundaries there, and there's a totally different states of being. There's cold and there's hot. Totally different states of being. So those are where the boundaries come into place. Boundaries are not a bad thing. And if you follow Magenta Pixie at all, she will tell you the same thing, is that we need boundaries so that we can express ourselves. We know who the heck we are. And we can express our soul mission, which is ours alone. It's not somebody else's. That we can express our soul mission through that individuality. All of the parts coming together to work as one, but not to be as one. To maintain our own individual flavor. It's the same with people. It's the same with communities. It's the same with countries. It's all the same. Boundaries need to be established and adhered to so that we know who we are, and that once we, so that we can keep ourselves healthy and happy and balanced, and then communicate and work as one with others outside of our boundaries, according to our soul mission and plan and our own will. So boundaries are extremely important. So what's going on now with the Lion's Gate? The Lion's Gate is about the boundaries between dark and light. And more importantly, it is the boundaries between 3D and 5D. This is a big one. This is going to be the biggest part of what we talk about today, is the boundaries that exist between 3D and 5D. Now, we have been in a long, seems like it's a lifetime's worth, and I guess in a way it is. We have been moving through upward vibrationally and spiritually, and we have been evolving energetically and spiritually to a place now out of this lower energy place of mind control, right? We've talked about this before. The 3D plane of existence is all about mental control and mental models of doing things and mental adherence, right? Everything happens in our minds. It's analyzed, it's perceived and received by our minds, and that's where it all gets processed. Whereas in the higher evolutionary models like 5D and 6D and beyond, it's not happening in our mind, all right? Our mind is the means by which things get done in many ways, and the way in which we communicate at present, that's going to change eventually too. But from the higher planes, we need to be accessing spirit that says, wait a minute, let's receive through this place, all the way up here. Let's receive through spirit. This should be our receiver up here, not here, not here. This should be our receiver and coming down to us so that we have a clearer picture of what's going on. Because when we receive up here, there's no emotion attached to that. Anytime that we receive emotionally, what is that? When we have an emotional response, what does that tell us about the part of us that's responding to it? It's our ego mind. Emotion is a tool of the ego, and it is a tool of the controllers who use that emotion to pull us in their direction and herd us to do things. And we can see this in these shootings over the weekend. No matter what you want to say about it, if you dig, right, if instead of just accepting what some numbskull on some news channel who gets paid to lie to us tells you, then you have no clue. But if you go digging for your own self, because you've listened to your higher mind that says, I don't believe this is the way it went down. I don't believe this is all the truth. If you go digging in, you find that it's a totally different story than what we're being told on the news. That these people had nothing to do with white nationalists or Trump, that they are Democrats. The one of them was favored Elizabeth Warren. The other one, in the Walmart in El Paso, turns out that he didn't do any shooting up because of any white nationalism or manifesto or any other garbage like that. he had watched the Democratic debates and he was pissed off about free health care being given to illegal immigrants instead of the American people. And he just went off. He went off. So there's a lot more to these stories. If we go in and look, if we go dig a little bit, then we're going to find the lies. If we're not being able to sense the lies from up here, then we've got to dig. If we're going to use our minds, then let's use them to dig and use our minds instead of letting somebody else use them for us. And the 3D, that's when we know we're in 3D, is when we come into this emotional thing and somebody says, oh, wow, so-and-so did this. Isn't that horrible? And right away you go, oh my God, yes, that's horrible. I'm so sad for these people. And oh my God, who's at fault for this? And who can we blame? And this is miserable. If you go into that, you've lost it already. You're down in 3D and you're being controlled. Now, we're going to get into the temple in a little bit, but I just wanted to go through this while I'm here and while I'm on a roll. What does this have to do with boundaries? All right, our ascension moves us up. And in order to move up, we have to be detached from all these lower vibrational energies. 3D is like a weight. You know, you talk about baggage, things that are weighing you down, literally lowering your vibration. It's so literal that you can actually tell when it happens if you're aware of the fact that it is happening. So what do I mean by that? Lately, and you know, we've talked a lot about things just draining our energies and having no energy at all to do anything, no mental energy, no physical energy, feeling drained a large part of the time. And there are a lot of things that have influenced that. And the last time we had a circle that we did, I don't think it was last week, it was a couple weeks ago, where we identified that there was the curse that came around that was basically shutting us down, the light workers down. That's one. But this is different. There's nothing outside of us that's forcing this except to try and keep us down in this 3D place. Because if we master the art of letting go of it, of detaching from it, not being connected to the emotional energies of it, the negative emotional energies, then the controllers of 3D, the cabal, the dark forces, they have absolutely well and truly lost. There is. I mean, they've already lost, but there's still a possibility they could take back the field if they try hard enough, and that's what they're doing right now. That's why you see so many of these shootings and incidents and this and that and the other thing just popping up all over the place. And we could go into things like MK Ultra mind control, but I'm not going to do that right now because that may be a little bit far out for you. But I am... Let's go ahead and get the whiteboard up. All right, so I'm going to write.
Well, can I ask a question, or since it's live, can you not ask questions?
Go ahead.
Okay. So if you were saying, if we're aware of it, like if we're aware that we are being sucked back in, or that our emotions are controlling, what is? Like well, we're aware of it, but it doesn't necessarily stop the emotion, I guess.
Well, yeah, because once you're aware of it, you need to take action to stop that emotional attachment.
Okay.
Okay? Don't be passive about it. You have to be actively detaching. So let's see if I can do this. I thought that I could write with my pen. Oh, I can. How about that? Get back up here. But it's not writing. Come on. Oh. Experiment here. All right, so M MK. Excuse the handwriting here. Let's do this. Let's. Okay. X. Oh, good. Ah, good. MK Ultra. If you look that up, then you can get a little information about what some of this is going on.
Is that something that's for the general population or just for?
That, if you look that up,
guess,
if you Google, don't Google it though, use DuckDuckGo. Look up
right.
MK Ultra online. And it was.
Yeah, I know some about it because I've been interested in it.
Yeah.
But is it something that is it as extreme when it's common people and not Hollywood?
Oh, it's everybody.
Okay.
Anybody who could be useful was subjected to MK Ultra, and that still are in variations. The original program was very stressful. I mean, they really, if you looked at the Jason Bourne series and that movie and what he was subjected to in order to create a different identity and create the triggers that made him do the things he did, it's not that far off. You know, you don't need quite the same amount of trauma to do it. They perfected more subtle methods, but it's still there. So yeah, look up MK Ultra if you make a note of that. So I'm going to get off the share here for a minute again. Okay, so all of this is going on. Why do they want to keep control of your mind? Because when they have control of your mind, they have control of your emotions. When they have control of your emotions, they have control of you, and they can generate the negative emotional loosh energy that they're required to feed upon, to hold power over you so they can feed upon that energy and keep you helpless and under their thumbs. That's why it's important. So how do you know, aside from the fact that we have this emotional response to somebody, negative emotional response, how do we know that we are being sucked into something? Well, we're being sucked into something if that emotional response lasts more than 5 minutes before we do something about it. If we go online and we commiserate with everybody and we're putting posts on Facebook or we're, about how awful this is or agreeing with this and listening to all the diatribe and getting buried in the drama, yeah, then we're sucked into it again. We're under their control. And we are supposed to be smarter than that at this point. And when I say smarter than that, it doesn't mean that just because you get sucked in, that you're stupid, all right? Because trust me, I get sucked in a little bit every day, just a little bit here and there, but most of the time it isn't an over emotional thing. Mine is more low riding emotions. So how do I know I'm getting sucked in when that happens? This is the part that's interesting. I have been trying, there's something when I sit with my tablet or sit with, on my phone or whatever, and I'm doing Facebook or I get on Twitter or, YouTube or whatever, or even playing games. All of a sudden I find at some point that my energy level just starts going down. My mental energy just drained. I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to sit like a lump in the damn chair and do nothing. My energy just gets drained. And I've been working with this for a while, trying to figure out what the heck is going on, what's doing this. I'm, tried a whole bunch of stuff, tried to figure out what was going on. And about a week or so ago, the light finally went off. Remember, I've talked before about the old spiritual slow learner syndrome that goes on. And the light finally went off. Now, there is the 3D, and let's get this back again. Let me go ahead and do this. All right, so we have over here, let's see if I can make it work. Yeah, it's not going to do what I want it to do. All right, we'll go back to the, come on, erase. All right, so we'll go to text here, and we have 3D timeline. And over here we have the 5D timeline. No, I don't want that there. Bear with me, I'm learning. How to operate. Get this. No, I don't want that. Delete. No. Delete. No. Maybe I can erase that. What do you think? Okay. Okay, now go to text. No. Select. All right. Start here again. All right, done. Now, we're going to go to draw. Straight lines. Right, so over here we have the 3D timeline. Let me see if we can get to formats. And I'll make it red just because. All right, so say we have, here's the 3D timeline. And then over here we have the 5D timeline. Now, although these are sort of separate, they aren't totally detached. We still have an attachment to the 3D timeline. Now for me, that attachment and it may be for you too. I'll just say that this goes this way, okay. All right, we have an attachment to this 3D timeline because we're not totally separated out from it. That's what we're working on now with the Lionsgate. That's why it's so important to set the boundaries, to say, sorry, 3D is not allowed in my 5D space. Every time, and I can feel this attachment over in the left-hand side, and it comes down like a line to my right shoulder and beyond. Every time I connect to something like Facebook Collective or Matrix, Twitter, Facebook is really, you're talking about 2.5 billion people on Facebook. How much negative crap and 3D crap can you accumulate in that and put in one place? So that's a big sewer of that emotional energy. Plus, what is the purpose of Facebook? The purpose of Facebook is to share ourselves, right? to be seen, to have our identities seen, to share our emotions and the good stuff and the bad stuff and the, just all of that. So whether our intentions are good or otherwise in our sharing, if we're sharing from a 3D lower emotional space, I'm not talking about good stuff that happens. When we're sharing from that negative emotional space, we're in 3D and we're promoting 3D. I have noticed that whenever I go into that, when I get into Facebook and start working on Facebook, or just doing a little work on Facebook, that's kind of okay. I can get away with that. But like posting a couple of posts that I need to post. But when I'm sitting on Facebook and I'm going through my timeline, I can immediately, I can feel the drain because I'm plugging in to this 3D timeline here. I'm plugging in. And once I plug into that, that's just pulling all the high vibration in. It's lowering my vibrational frequencies as a whole. We're a whole unit, right? So if we're going to be 5D, and then we have something over here that is incompatible with those 5D energies, is disrupting them and interfering with them and bringing in a lower frequency into the mix, it's going to disrupt us and interfere with us, and it's going to drain our energies. It's going to bring us down. And that's what's happening. That's how you know. So we're going to get into the temple, and we're going to go through an exercise in which you're going to be shown how you can tell where it is, what the drain is. How do you know when you feel tired or you don't know what's going on or you get into something else? And social media isn't the only place that this happens, just with other people. In other situations, you have somebody come in and they start complaining to you about how horrible their life is. And all of a sudden you find yourself commiserating with them. And there's a difference between compassion and commiserating. All right, commiserating puts you in their spot. Or it just, you take over. It becomes your issue instead of leaving it with them. That's commiserating. Compassion is saying, gee, I'm sorry you feel that way, but you're not part of it, okay? You don't allow yourself to become embedded in that person's stuff or let their stuff become embedded in you. Another boundary that we need to keep. But it can happen anywhere and at any time. So you need to learn how to recognize the signs that that's happening, and I can show you what you can do to help release that, help let it go, help get out of that connection so that you can, so this doesn't happen anymore. Or when it does happen, you are quickly disconnecting from it. And we can take and that no longer exists. We can say, nope, not doing it. Goodbye. Sorry about your luck. You can stay there. A lot of this has to do with our past history, too. If we're connecting, we're still working on old wounds, which most of us should be, like 85 to 90% through by now. But if we're still getting caught in those old wound patterns, that's going to connect us back to 3D as well. So there are a lot of things going on in there that are gonna mess us up if we are not careful or diligent, aware. Like I said, you have to be aware, because right now it's happening all the time, and it's happening for a reason. The reason is so we become aware of it, so that we can do something about it, so that we can reverse it or disconnect from it and say, I don't think so. Sorry about your luck. I am just, I'm not having that as part of my experience anymore. No, that's not coming with me fully into 5D and the new life and the new earth. Just not happening, not doing it. Goodbye, sayonara, Now, you may have to say it 300 times before your ego mind and everything else stops doing it. But eventually, you're going to stop the habit of connecting to those things and responding emotionally to them. So let's go ahead and get in the temple, and you can get, and we'll let you see for yourself how this is affecting you and where this connection is, and how strong it is. We're going to clear you out electronically too. We're going to get you disconnected from all the social media and electronic stuff that is pulling you into this, because we want you to leave this session tonight with a clean slate, so to speak, so that because when we are in this stuff and it's connecting to us, we're going here, we're going there, we're reacting, responding. When we are in those places, what is that doing up? And we get buried in it, then our vibrational resonance descends to a place where we're kind of in a match for these things, and it becomes harder for us to be aware that there's something different going on. So we want to get cleared and raise up so that coming out of this healing circle tonight, you will have a better idea of what's going on with you energetically and what is causing the symptoms that you're feeling. Anybody have any questions before we go into the temple? We're good? All right.
I don't have any.
Okay. So now, we're going to go into the temple, but before we do, I have I'm going to give you a treat here. This is, I haven't put a fancy label on it yet. These are my oil blends, line of oil blends I'm creating. You just have given me to create. This is divine communication. So this is going to help us get into alignment with and receive divine communication consciously to open up all those pathways and clear the stuff that's in the way, because that's the other thing that happens when we get dragged down into this lower resonance, is that we lose the resonance and vibrational clarity of our divine connection. So this was created to help you with that. So this is my little, if you see, I have, as usual, my little baggie with the Post-it in there that say all the hump day participants. So I'm putting this oil, a couple drops of this oil on top of that, connecting it to everybody that's here now and everybody that ever will watch this, whenever that is, and wherever that is. All of everybody's guardian teams and higher selves know when they're going to watch it, and they have saved a space. So we're going to go ahead and go into the temple and move on from there. Is this making sense to y'all? Yes, no, maybe. You're going to wait until it's over. Okay, let's just get in the temple and get settled. Almighty and Most High Father, Mother God, divine source of all it is and light of the great central sun, I welcome you to the Heartlight Temple of Angelic Healing this night, Heavenly Father, and thank you for your presence here with us. All those who are here now and all those whose spaces are being saved by their higher selves and guardian teams who will join us in the future. I invoke this temple now to be present for each one of us, to surround this space and above and below, to provide a sanctified, sacred space for the work we are here to do tonight. I intend that this temple shall surround us in this space continuously throughout the remainder of this session, being released only 10 minutes after I end the Zoom session this night when we are done. So be it and so it is. Heavenly Father, I ask you to bless this space, this temple space, and consecrate it in your love and light to our use and into our service in your name this night for the purposes for which I have invoked the temple at this time, to be fully supported at all levels, dimensions, and planes of existence and causation. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you. Thank you for your presence here in this temple with us tonight throughout this session and the healing circle. Thank you. I call now upon beloved angels, archangels, ascended masters, beloved Jesus, Mother Mary, Holy Spirit, higher selves, guardians, and guides of all who are here now and who ever will be, whose seed is being saved in the circle by their higher selves and guardian teams. I welcome you all here this night. I welcome you to this heart light, angelic, angel's heart healing circle. I thank you, beloved angels, for surrounding us, for being with us, and providing all of the support needed for us to clearly understand what is going on, to see the need for these boundaries, to understand what we need to do and how to do it in order to establish and maintain those boundaries, especially between the 3D and 5D timelines and energies as we are moving away from them. Thank you. Beloved Archangel Michael, I call upon you now and your blue lightning angels to surround this temple space above and below, to shield, defend, and protect it from all not of the light or in service to it, is of entity, origin, intent, creation, design, or purpose, or in service to such, is not in service to our highest good, or is other than in full support of the goals and purposes to which I have invited the temple this night. Please remove these things from within and from without, Michael. Sever all connections and cords and attachments from outside the temple to within. Clear and protect this temple, Michael. Defend this temple and us from without and from within, according to this protective order for the temple. Remove the entities into the vortex of divine source from everyone who will ever be here in this circle. Everyone here at the time that they are hearing my voice in this recording. Remove the entities into the light to be taken up by the Father through the center of the temple. Thank you, Michael. Please clear everything in the temple, including us. Perform the protective and purification protocols for the temple for each one of us here, whenever we are here, now and at any time in the future. For all of us here in the now in which they're listening to this recording. We can do this because the temple actually exists outside of time and space. So in essence, everybody who is ever going to listen to this is actually here. We just don't have the ability to communicate with them from physical plane perspective. That is why I can feel all of the entities that people have attached to them and nastiness that's coming in that does not want to be sent away. Michael, all entities do not have permission to be here, and in all the names of all of us in the temple, as proxy for everyone here tonight, in the temple, I invoke my authority over the dark and cast it out from everyone. I revoke its permission to have access to any one of us. I cancel its authority in all of our domains. At all levels, dimensions, and planes of existence and causation throughout our timelines, past, present, and future. Remove all discarnate spirits into the light. All of it gets taken up for a divine dispensation in the light. There is no possible resistance of any kind. Anything that would create resistance no longer exists in this or any other reality or level of existence. Remove these things from us in totality, Michael, and cleanse us of everything that they brought to us, including all timelines. Remove these entities. Remove the ETs. Take these dark ETs. I intend that there are cloaking shields placed around them. And I am intending and asking Lady Nada to and the Karmic Board to deliver these ETs unto the divine courts to be dealt with according to the statutes and divine law and universal law, and fully removed from all of us, and all of their works removed from us, and all of the deceitful invitations they implanted in our systems or tricked us into accepting. Remove everything that came from these dark ETs, Michael. All of that's created in any one of us throughout our timelines at all levels, dimensions, and planes of existence and causation. They have no authority here, and I invoke my authority over them. Get out. All contracts, vows, and agreements are broken, null and void, foreseen, implied, or otherwise, that have allowed these things access. Remove these noxious energies from us, Michael, and everything sponsoring them. Disconnect us from these matrices and collectives. What is this collective? Is this matrix? Matrix. Yeah, disconnect, remove from us, Raziel, beloved one, completely uproot and pull out these false light matrices from all who have them attached. These things have no authority here. I give them none. Remove them in as much as it serves the highest good of all present here and supports their soul mission. Remove this false light matrix and any collectives associated. Remove it totally from our toruses, from our matrices at all levels, dimensions, and planes of existence and causation, past, present, future, on our timeline. From our soul spheres and all perpetuation engines. Anything that would reconnect these to us, fully uproot them and dissolve these matrices as much as it serves the highest good and is according to God's will. I invoke Moses' staff, if need be, to make it so, and so it is. Thank you. Shushay and Raphael, please purify and heal us of all negative consequences of these entity and false light intrusions and attachments. Heal us according to and in alignment with our true divine templates and blueprints. Upgraded at all levels, dimensions, and planes of existence and causation. Let the records of the false light and everything they inserted into our systems be erased from our matrices and templates in totality throughout our soul sphere. And so it is. Continue healing Raphael and purifying Shushay. Remove from us everything that came from these things or was created by them. Thank you. There is somebody who is not here now who is severely affected by this. And I'm going to ask Michael to put cloaking shields around this, because this is an issue that needs to be taken care of offline. And I need it not to be contaminating the circle. So Michael, please do what's necessary for this not to contaminate the temple, and for me to deal with this person. If you are feeling a lot of stuff going on as I'm going through this, you know it's you. So let's clear this to a point where it is taken out of the temple and has no ability to interfere with what goes on here. Thank you. And so it is. Disconnect this from me, Michael. Outside the boundaries of the temple, there to be held or dispensed with according to the highest good and divine will. Thank you. Okay, so Michael, please clear anything else that needs to be done in order for us to continue with this healing circle as it is planned, in order for each of us to receive the benefit of it. Thank you. Raphael, anybody? We're good. Okay. So now, I'm going to ask Michael, I'm going to ask you to put your cobalt blue light sphere protection around each one of us in the circle. And to clear from us everything in opposition to that, that is not needed for what we're here to do. Thank you. Okay, so now if you look in the center of the temple, there's the big dome, the rotunda, and there is this streaming column of divine light coming down through the center of that dome, over top of the golden heart that lays underneath the dome, and the rose inset, the mosaic crystal rose inset into the floor. And coming down into the temple now, again, you're going to see this beautiful, multifaceted, clear crystalline heart floating in that column of light, hanging over the rose in the center of the heart in the temple. The beautiful crystalline heart, the angel's heart. The light, divine light, the light of pure light of divine source and divine love, streaming into it and coming out of it in multicolored rainbow facets all over the temple. And coming now, in order to, who's going to be running this session for us and assisting, is the angel Charmienne, who's the angel of harmony. And so that's another thing, if we think about it, another purpose of boundaries is to restore harmony. Okay, Angel Charmienne is about harmony. Harmony is balance. And so she's here to help us restore harmony, show us where we're coming out of harmony, where the discord is taking place. She's going to be showing us that and helping us to release that and to come into a better state of balance and centering and harmony with our true self and our 5D, so that we are much more aware of and sensitive to the stuff that is not of that. You know, it's like being in a steaming hot tub, and once you're in that steaming hot tub, you know when somebody dumps cold water in, right? Or when you're in the hot shower and somebody turns on the hot water in another place in the house and the shower gets cold. It's like, whoa, all of a sudden, big difference, you can tell. So that's what she's going to be working on, is getting you to the state where you are firmly harmonized with your 5D true vibrational self at this time, 5 or 6D, and able then to discern clearly when something is here that is not aligned with that, or when you're connected to something that is not aligned with that. So Charmienne comes in now, beloved one. I thank you for your presence here today with us. I thank you for sponsoring this Angel's Heart Healing Circle today and bringing to me the knowledge that I am here to pass on to others. Thank you. Whoa, Charmienne. You go, girl. She's just saying hello now. Wow. Okay. So, let's just concentrate on the heart, the crystalline heart. So connect psychically or through the top of your head, through your divine channel. Let's connect to the angel's heart, hanging suspended in the center of the temple, suspended in the column of divine light. Because that's where everything is going. You know, Charmienne is going to be acting separately, but she's also going to be sending things to us through the heart that are come directly to us. And they will be specifically for each one of us, but they will be magnified and amplified as necessary, so that we all receive what is meant to be received for us. She's going to be sending things through the heart and individually. So, all right, what's first, Charmienne? Okay, so right now, the first thing that Charmienne is going to do is she is going to clear the 3D energies. Okay, she's going to clear from you all the 3D energies and show you, if you are sensitive to that, where your attachment lies to that 3D stuff, that 3D timeline and matrix. So she's going to do that now for everyone. Clear that 3D energy and frequencies from you. And as she clears these 3D dense energies from you, to bring you back into, starting the process of bringing you back into harmony with your true intended 5 or 6D vibration, you're going to start to feel energized. You're going to start to feel better. Your mind is going to start to get clearer. All right, take a nice deep breath in through your nose to anchor the work that she's done so far. Anchor yourself into that clearing away of the 3D frequencies and energies. All right, so now she's going to disconnect the 3D timeline from you and show you where it's attached, where you, so you can feel or see. You know, if you're clairvoyant, maybe you're getting a visual image of this, where this is coming into you or where you're connecting to it, so that this is like the base, the connecting point, where you'll be able to feel what's there. You'll be able to see its sense it's coming into you in this place. But she's removing the structures that are sponsoring this 3D timeline attachment. There's a lot of nasty energy associated with that. Somebody's got some real, this is all part of that false light matrix. Is there archonic energy here too? Demonic? No. All right. All right, there's some false light masters involved here. That's what's going on and why it's so persistent, because the person who is connected to this believes they are really connected to the real ascended masters, and these are not. These are false light agents that are leading you astray. Is there more than one person involved with this? No, one. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to open to release this and get cleared of it. Let's clear this out and remove these mechanisms and devices. Everything that is fostering these connections to 3D, hosting them, anchoring them. Remove the programs that are sponsoring these 3D connections, operating subconsciously. All of us, please, not just the one, not just the person with the false light thing. Okay, got that. Just want to make sure I haven't gone off onto a tangent here and left everybody else behind. All right. All right, Charmienne, do what you see is necessary at this time for us in order for us to get fully free of this 3D attachment mechanism. And clear from us everything that's come from it, creating discord. Michael, beloved Archangel, please come now and remove all entity components of this. And take these entities into the vortex of divine source for transmutation and dispensation and light. So it is. Complete, beloved, complete this part, Charmienne, please. We're done with this. All right, so what is the next step here? What are you showing us? The place where the 3D timeline exists in our energy fields. Okay, you should be feeling this or seeing it, depending on your talent. But the 3D timeline kind of comes in. Is this the matrix, the timeline itself? Okay, the 3D timeline kind of comes in like this. All right, and if you get, if you can feel it now, understand that whatever you're feeling or seeing now, as Charmienne is showing this to you in some way, that this is also going to be something that she and your guardians are going to use this as a signal to you to say, hello, 3D, 3D, 3D. Trust me, I know, because they do it to me enough. It's like, hello, knock, knock on wood here. Let's get together. It's 3D. So that will be one of the ways that they will signal you that that's what's going on, that you're hooked into the 3D timeline again. So if you're feeling it, hopefully you're feeling this or seeing this in some way. Anybody having difficulty with that? All right, good, because she's pretty persistent. This is a strong signal coming down here. Okay. What else here?
So, just feel kind of clammy and hot. Is that a signal?
Well, no, that's clearing energies out of there. Yeah. Charmienne, is that 3D energies coming, being cleared out? What's that? Entities coming from 3D? No, Michael, clear the entities that are responsible here. There shouldn't be any entities in these domains and in this temple. Michael, clear them all out, please.
Are we going to the bathroom here?
They do not have permission to be there, and I invoke my authority over them. Get out. Thank you. That should help. Okay, beloved Charmienne. Where are we going here with this? The 3D timeline? No. 5D timeline? Programs. All right. Programs embedded in the central channel. Chakras. Causal chakra, soul star. All right, soul star. All right, so you should be feeling, and the soul star is, up above your head, and there is another channel from the soul star. It's kind of a portal that also hooks down somewhere above your shoulder and behind your ear to the right. You may feel that or see it, but that's your soul star chakra connects up here. And what is it entities doing this, Michael, Charmienne, or is this part of the 3D? Okay, this is part of the built-in 3D attachment process, and there are programs that were inserted into our soul star chakras or attached to them that are sponsoring the 3D attachment and bringing to us things that are of 3D. And one of the things that are coming to us because of lower vibration 3D attachments are discarnate spirits with their low vibrational energy. That took me a while to figure out too. That was one of the things that was making me crazy, was all the discarnate spirits that were coming to me. And I finally figured out that when my vibration is taken down by these emotional attachments that connect me to the lower 3D energies and vibrations, it opens the door to resonance with these discarnate spirits and their low vibrational stuff. And then I have to deal with them. So, just another part of the picture. But we're going to clear out now your soul star chakra, and we're going to remove all of this that has been put in place there. I'm getting that for some of you, or at least one of you, more than one of you, that these things, and this has happened to me too, is that there are implants put in the soul star chakra that create portals, that allow portals to be opened and for us to be intruded upon in our matrices. And the dark ETs like to do that too. Let's remove this in totality, Charmienne and Michael. Raziel, let's clear us all of these intrusions, implants, programs and codings, constructs, whatever it is that's been embedded in or attached to our soul star chakras in their totality, and the portal is connected to them. Let's cleanse this. You have pointed it out, Charmienne. Please do what's necessary for us to be cleared of this. And I would ask and intend that any defenses possible to prevent this from happening again be put in place for each one of us. And as much as it serves our highest good and is allowed by our higher selves and free will and highest good. Thank you. Yeah, I would make note, especially now with the upheaval going on and the really strong work and continuous efforts of the lower vibrational cabal controlled entities and forces to entrap us, to bring our energies down, to keep us in the 3D state and mind control state. Please don't do any work that takes you outside of your body without being protected. Use your shielding. Ask Archangel Michael to shield you and protect you. Don't do any of that work without that shield and protection, because believe me, if you don't, you're going to be deceived and you're going to be attacked. It's going to happen right now. There's too much nastiness. The collectives are just a mess. And if you haven't been feeling that, I don't know if that's good or bad. If you haven't been feeling that, either there's two reasons. Either you're protected from it or you're resonating with it, one or the other. So hopefully it's the former. Okay, so let's get rid of this portal that's been created from the soul star that's being used by this nastiness for us and against us. Do everything that's necessary so that this is fully removed in totality. Everything that you all see needs to be done and should be done for our benefit in order to fulfill the purpose of this healing circle. Go for it. Do it in regards to getting rid of this stuff and disconnecting us from 3D. And everything else you see calling to be done at this part of the session. Thank you. Okay. So we've got that done. We've gotten rid of the program mechanisms that are doing this, that are operating subconsciously and outside of our mind, outside of our energy fields, right? Soul star is up above our light body envelope. So we got rid of that.
Well, I figured out what
Now what?
scent was. It's that autumn.
All right, what's next?
Did you spray it in the vent?
Okay. So now we're going to put you into alignment with the 5D frequencies and vibrations. 5D and maybe better. All right, we're going to ask Charmienne to bring you into harmony with your highest sustainable vibrational frequency. could be 5D or it could be 6D. And to clear away everything that is opposing that, and opposing the sustaining and maintaining of it.
I have to go to CVS and get my medicine. And let's go.
And to do so throughout your timelines. Let's bring your timelines, which have been separated away from 3D, into full resonance with your highest sustainable vibrational frequency. Past, present, and future at all levels, dimensions, and planes of existence and causation, including your DNA and cell memory, your timeline programming and soul matrix, every part of your being. Please remove now everything in discord with this, Charmienne, to the full extent which it serves the highest good of all involved. Remove any entity or ego implants that are sponsoring these low vibrational energies and discord. Wow, this is really nasty. Remove what's causing this nasty energy, beloved Archangel Michael. Get out. I revoke your authority in this domain, and you certainly don't have any in this temple. Get out. Michael, your protection of this temple is supposed to be maintained and sustained throughout the session, please. If I neglected to say that earlier, I'm telling you now. Get this temple back under your control and protection. Thank you. And purify it once more of all that does not belong here now. Thank you. Remove this noxious energy from all of us. I remove it from me. I choose not to experience it this time. If it does not exist in this temple right now, it should not be here in me. Disconnect me from its source. Thank you. And so it is. Shield me from it, Michael. Okay, so where are we with this, angels? Charmienne? Bring everybody fully into their highest vibrational, sustainable vibrational frequency and in full harmony with that throughout their systems. That's better. Removing all discord and everything creating discord. And remove all programs that are sponsoring this discord. Remove from us all anything that is of entity, origin, intent, creation, design, or purpose, or in service to such. And anything of ego origin that is perpetuating these 3D connections and energetic resonance. Remove programs and constructs and codings, devices, mechanisms, programs and response patterns, and triggers. Thank you. All right, so now, Charmienne, we want to do this throughout the timeline. Oversoul. Oh, we're going to clear the oversoul. Infuse this into the oversoul. Program this into the oversoul. Yes. And remove from the oversoul everything that's still sponsoring 3D. Cleanse the oversoul of these things and remove them from all of us. That the oversoul has delivered these things to us. Clear it all out. All right, what's with the psychic channel here? Psychic, third eye. No. Frontal lobe. Connection to what? Oh, okay. All right, I ask now, beloved Archangel Angel Raziel, to remove from all those present here in this temple, in the now, whenever that now is for them, to remove from all in the temple, all past lives, remove from their oversouls, all past lives which no longer have value for their soul evolution as we move into the ascension phases. Remove them from the oversoul and dissolve them all and disconnect us from them. This is another source of attachment that keeps us down in 3D stuff. Oh, hey, Naima. Clear all of this, dissolve all of these timelines, and sever their attachments to us and our attachments to them. Remove the entities that are coming to us from them or because of them, and anything else that does not serve us that has come to us from these timelines. Dissolve them all and send them into the void. For divine dispensation. So it is. All right, clear from us everything that came from these timelines, these non-serving timelines. Clear from us all of the 3D vibrational elements, attachments, beliefs, constructs, response patterns, any curses, hexes, spells, any contracts, vows, or agreements. We're canceling them all that have no value for us in this lifetime any longer, or for any other part of any further in our soul evolution from this point on. Just clear it all out and everything that's created at all levels, dimensions, and planes of existence and causation for all of us, please. Thank you, Charmienne. What is this? Oh, okay. Next step is to disconnect us from past history. And I'm going to do something that sounds a little bit weird, but I'm going to ask Charmienne to sever our connection to our past history, that part of our timeline. In order for us to move over into 5D, we have had a new timeline created that we were brought into. There was pretty much a copy of everything that was over there, but without the lower energies so much. And so the things in our past that we've already cleared out, that are done, don't have any emotional appeal for us, have already been cleared and healed, were removed when we came into the new timeline. And they were neutralized. Those that were not removed were neutralized fully and completely. They're there as part of our history, but they have no emotional energy attached to them. There are a few things that still do if you have things you got to move through. Everything else that you're connecting to from your past is coming to you from the 3D past history in your timeline there. So we're going to disconnect that from you now. We're going to cut that away from you and release it totally and completely. Can we dissolve this, Raziel? Okay, yes, then let's do so. Can we dissolve all of our 3D timeline? Yes. Oh, I love it. Love it when a plan gets together. So yes, let's dissolve and release us from our own 3D timelines. Dissolve this, release it from us, and remove from us everything that's come through this attachment that no longer serves us. This timeline is done. Let's clear it out. Move, sever these connections and bring healing, Raziel. I intend that all of the negative energy is removed from us, cleared and neutralized, and everything that it's triggering no longer exists. And everything that exists in our systems now that is triggering that stuff is removed, no longer exists in our reality. It serves no purpose for us. At all levels, dimensions, and planes of existence and causation throughout our current timelines. And so it is. Now, wait a minute, how'd I get there? There we are. Okay. Okay, peeps. So we're back. What I was doing at some point when we got cut off was removing your 3D timeline and dissolving it away. You have no more use for your own 3D timeline. The 3D, the energies that I'm talking about us hooking into are the 3D human timeline. And they will continue to be an issue. But if we are removing our own 3D timelines, separating that out, removing it from the 5D that was recreated and we got moved over into, that's what was going on. Some reason I never asked. Sometimes we don't ask all the questions. When we had that solar eclipse a year or so ago, it was so like blew everybody away. That's when we got moved into this new 5D timeline. That's when that was created and we got set into it. And we've been moving into fully separating from the 3D ever since then. How about that? I love it when I learn new things. Just like tonight, I didn't know we were going to get rid of our own 3D timelines. Had no idea that was happening. So good. We're done with that. Everybody who's listening to this, at any point, when you get to that point, you are going to be freed and released of your 3D timeline. So that no longer is there holding you down with those energies of your own personal experience. We have the humanities 3D timeline to worry about that's still going to come and try and hold, and pull us down with things that we may still have going on that we need to work on. So when stuff pulls us down, when you can feel your energy draining, when you can feel, you may just, for me, a lot of times instead of just energy draining, all of a sudden I find myself nodding off. I can't stay awake. I can't keep my eyes open. It's like I'm in the middle of, playing solitaire, or I'm in the middle of reading something on Facebook. All of a sudden, I find my eyes are closed. Oop, I come back. I'm down again. And I can't stop it. No matter what I do, I can't keep it from happening until I realize that it is the lower 3D connection that I've hooked into, and I disconnect. So are we ready to talk about that, angels? Yes. All right, Charmienne, please let's restore harmony in totality now to everybody and help us all to integrate what everything has been done here. Because we're getting to the point where we need to start thinking about closing. Okay, and restore balance to us, Charmienne, please. And remove discord. Thank you. Okay, so when you sense that you're being pulled into the lower 3D timeline and its energies, as we have talked about tonight, call on the angel Raziel and Archangel Michael to sever that connection and remove from you everything that came from it and everything that caused the connection. Ask Raphael to bring healing to whatever it is that caused you to make that connection or want that connection. But normally, Raziel and Michael should be the only ones that you really need to talk to. So let me write Raziel. Actually, let me do this on the whiteboard because I think that will get shared in the video more, because the chat won't. Okay, so let's go. All right. When you sense that you are affected by or attached, to the 3D main timeline, and that is energy drain, mental fogginess, or sleepiness, etc. May even be shown the signal for the 3D timeline as Charmienne showed us earlier. Simply ask Angel Raziel to cut your connection to that timeline and remove from you all that came from it and caused it to be. Ask Archangel to clear all negative and entity energies and attachments that came through that connection. Okay, so just to go over it again, when you sense that you're being affected by the by or attached to the 3D main timeline, energy drain, mental fogginess or sleepiness, etc. You may even be shown the signal for the 3D timeline as Charmienne showed us earlier. Remember this, that energy there. Simply ask the angel Raziel to cut your connection to that timeline and remove from you all that came from it and caused it to be. And then ask Michael to clear all negative and entity energies and attachments which came through that connection. All right. I don't know if I can. Can I do this? Yes, I can. Okay, I'm copying that so that I can add it to other things. Okay, so that's basically what you need to do when you sense this. So beware of the signals. You know, if you find yourself, you're doing something with anything on social media and you find yourself, or the games are horrible. They have so much horrible low vibrational energy. You know, they're sucked into all of this nasty stuff. But solitaire should not be, but it's all part of the same system. So anyway, be aware when you find yourself doing something and your energy is drained, your mental energy is drained, you start feeling sleepy or you're foggy-headed or you just lose all your desire and gumption to do anything. And you feel physically drained. So just pay attention, because if you're paying attention, you will notice when these things start to happen and you will correlate these things with the activity that you're doing. And when you feel that, then you can start saying, oh, no, let's ask, first. Okay, when you sense you're being, no. Where's my text? Where's my text? Oh, I don't want to do that. All right, we're not going to go through that again. Simply ask Michael or Raziel if you are connected or your higher self, and if that's what's going on, and then go to asking Raziel to cut that connection, and then get, and clear you from everything that came from it and all that caused that connection to exist in the first place, and then get Michael to clear any of the negative entity energies and attachments that came through it. So that's basically what you need to do. So, are we okay with that? Is that making sense? Does anybody have any questions? Hang on here a second. Let me get back up here. And we will end the share. I'll leave the share up here for just a couple more minutes so that if you're copying this down, you can write it. But I am going to copy it also when I post this up online. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move forward here. Stop the share, and I'm back. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this here. Yeah. All right, it's time for us to think about getting done here because my internet connection says it's getting unstable for some reason. All right. So that's the end of it. Does anybody have, let me go ahead and unmute everybody. Where is my thingy jigger here for the chat room? Chat. Yeah, Naima, I know you weren't here until later, so I don't know, but if you all have any questions about what I put here or what we've done tonight, now's the time to ask before we sign off.
I can't see what you've done on the whiteboard yet because I dialed in.
Oh, okay. All right, so you'll see it later, but yeah, because I put it on that chat board, but I read it.
Right.
I read it. So, are y'all okay with what we've done? Are you kind of feeling like you can move forward this and recognize it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think I've been recognizing it. It's just stopping it before I let it take too much control. Yeah,
it's recognizing it, but then understanding what it is. Say, now I know what that is. It makes a big difference. Trust me, once I figured out what it was and started disconnecting, then all of a sudden, my God, I had so much energy. I had things that I could get done. It was crazy. So, and Chris, are you okay?
Yes, that was me talking.
Oh, that was you. Okay, I was thinking you and Mary sound similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had so the sensations that I had, the clammy feeling, I've never really had that listening to you. I've never really had that listening to you before. And I had a lot of activity like around my feet that I could feel, and then some on my forehead.
Yeah. What was it that you said you never experienced with me before?
Just like the clammier feeling, the hot clammier feeling in the feet. My feet were very active.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some entities that it was my fault that when I gave the instructions for Michael to protect the temple, I didn't make sure that he was maintaining that protection throughout the healing circle. And so that protection lapsed and some other stuff came in. Some of it was yours that we went and we had to remove. And it wasn't crazy about what I was doing, but here and there, we got rid of it and we're good to go there. So the thing at your feet, was that toward the end when we were doing the timeline stuff?
No, it was around the time when I was telling you that when I originally said that I was feeling the warm, clammy feeling.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The stuff around your feet was your connection to that dark 3D timeline or the low vibrational 3D timeline.
Okay.
Coming up through your feet. Because that's what the ones tend to connect to us through our feet. All right, Michael, is there a portal or a vortex or anything operating there with her? No, that was just the dense timeline. All right, and that entity was coming from the 3D timeline and wasn't happy about it. Okay, got it. Got it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and everybody take a few deep breaths and drawing light through your crown and send it down out into the earth, and let's anchor everything into the present. Our 5D aligned and harmonized selves. Whew. Okay, I'm going to, beloved angels, I thank you for your presence here with us this day. Beloved Charmienne, thank you so much for all that you have done with us here tonight. Thank you. And I'm releasing the angels and the masters from the temple. Michael, what is this? What is this? What are you telling me? Yeah, take the discarnate spirits up into the light, Michael. I'm releasing them from the temple too. Beloved Azrael, please come take this discarnate spirit home into the light. Beloved one, if you were going to hell, you'd already be there. Go home and continue your journey. If you stay here in the physical plane, you will cease to exist. Period, end of story, no matter what you do. Remove all entity attachments from this spirit, Michael, and send them into the pit. I'm done with them. They're good. Get out. Remove anything else that's binding this spirit to the physical plane or to any of us. Does it need its polarities flipped? Yes. Okay. Beloved Uriel, please come and switch this spirit's polarities from service to self to service to others so that it is allowed to continue its journey and go home into the lights. Thank you. And just as an aside, if you were listening to that, if you are a service to self individual, what I just said does not mean that you aren't going to go into the light, but there are two separate places. Service to self and the dark grid trap had us moving into going through the light and then immediately being recycled. We really weren't giving any choices about how long we were going to be there, recovering. what we were going to do, if we were coming back or not. We were automatically recycled and thrown down into the earth plane again. Now, if you are service to others, and you can be transmitted if you're like polarized to service to others, if you're service to self, but you're really leaning towards service to others, you're just not really meshing with that by the time you finish your lifetime, you can be repolarized to service to others. And when you do that, you go into a separate channel of light where you're not automatically recycled down into the earth, where you are then you go into the third, what we call the third heaven, which is the place where you get the choices. You recover, you decide what you're going to do, where you're going to be. Is it going to be another planet? Do I need more soul growth here? Am I ready to just merge back with the Father? Do I want to help out here in heaven? You know, what is it that, you know, that I'm going to do from this point on? So there are two different things going on. So those that remain in service to self mostly are those who are going to remain in the 3D timeline. And so their passing from the physical body is going to be different from all of us who are moving through in the 5D and beyond timeline and continuing our evolution at that point. Now, just a little aside information, things that I've come to understand and to know from my team. So anyway, we're going to end now. We're going to say, you know, thank you. We're going to dissolve the temple now. And Michael, please place your protection around all of us. Place your cobalt blue light sphere protection around each one of us now to be maintained and sustained. Keep the entities from us throughout the next 24 hours on our timelines or something better. And I would urge all of you to do your own clearing and shielding routines, because if we have any kind of an emotional hiccup or we got some programs inside that are basically calling in garbage from outside, then Michael's got to let it through, because we have a free will. You know, if something inside of us is calling it, whether it's conscious from us or not, that qualifies as free will and it breaks the protection. So, having said that, thank you so much for being here. I had fun tonight. I had fun with the whiteboard thing. I hope you enjoyed that too. Helped you with your understanding of what was going on, to have a little bit of a visual input on it. And that's pretty much it. If nobody else has any questions or anything to say or share, then we're gonna end. And I will.
I would like to say thank you, and thank you with the end part about flipping the polarities. That's interesting. I didn't realize that could happen.
Yeah, that was one of those things that working with the discarnate spirits that they Michael and Raziel showed me, and Uriel, is that, you know, that I kept on me like, why can't this spirit go into the light? Get the heck out of here. And finally they showed me that that's what it was, is that they couldn't go into the light where I'm sending them if they're not flipped into the service to others polarity. So that's what the deal is.
And you're saying that can happen if at the end of your life, if you're not all the way, like you could be working toward it, but not be.
Right. That could be where your soul wants you to go next. And yeah, once you pass on, then you can get assigned to that service to others and have your polarities switched over to that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Cool, huh? I love the stuff I learned. So thank you so much for being here with me tonight. And we'll meet again.
Have a blessed
weekend. Blessings to you all.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome, most assuredly.